Levels of consciousness and spirituality. So, as a collective of humanity, we are in a time of great awakening. We are raising our vibration and we are expanding our consciousness. We are remembering who we truly are and why we came, and are being called to express and embody our unique soul's essence. As we go through our life, we will be invited into seeing and living from a higher state of consciousness, and it is up to us to claim our power and attune to a more loving and expanded state of consciousness as an individual, and therefore affect humanity as a whole. A new earth with more peace, love, and unity can be experienced by us all as we each align with our higher dimensional selves, and our internal reality then affects externally. So what do I mean by higher levels of consciousness? By higher, I mean more expanded and more loving, as opposed to limited, constricted, and fearful. That's what I mean by higher and lower. It's quite a human concept of levels, but really there's no hierarchy. You don't have to strive to reach or attain a certain level, because at your essence you already are that. You are a multi-dimensional being of love, so there is an aspect of you that is already a part of you, that you are always connected to, that is existing in a higher state of consciousness already. It's just in aligning with it. So why as humans are we so drawn to raising up into the higher dimensions or expanding our consciousness? It is because as a collective consciousness of humanity, that's what we came to Earth to do. We came to be on this ascension journey of raising our frequency and expanding our consciousness. So it's not so much that we need to try or strive to attain these things. It's happening already as our life is unfolding. As we go through our life, we experience things, we learn lessons, we grow, and have the opportunity to give more love to ourselves and others, and become our highest selves embodied on the earth. So it's not that certain states are better or worse, they are all of value to source. That is a very linear human way of looking at things. Many of us as humans, we want to understand things and be able to put it in a diagram or steps, but that's not really the case. It's so much more than we can fit into a box or label. It's a very multi-dimensional thing. You do not need to force awakening or a shift in consciousness. You just need to allow it. That's really key. Release any pressure that you've put on yourself if you feel like you have to up-level or reach something that you believe you don't have. You don't have to go to yoga 7 days a week or meditate for hours or follow a certain diet. Those are tools that can greatly support us in our human experience. But it is the shift in consciousness that is what can be so healing and life-changing, rather than the practice itself. If you are drawn to certain practices, do them because you feel inspired to and called to, not out of a need or obligation in order to get something, as that can create attachment and resistance rather than surrender and allowance to something that is your birthright. There is no one right way. We are all on unique journeys and had certain pre-birth intentions before we incarnated here, and it's important to listen to your own intuitive guidance. You will always be led towards the path of least resistance, but it is up to you to follow the call. But know you have free will, and that of course is honored and respected, but there is so much non-physical support here for you. The journey of ascension is the journey of expanding our consciousness and raising our vibration as we exist as humans on the earth plane. To put it simply, we could say it's integrating our humanity with our divinity. On this ascension journey, what we are naturally doing is that we have come into what we would call a lower dimensional reality, where there is a lot of density and heavy stuff, such as fear, that we can experience. The purpose of this ascension journey is to allow us to experience that. Go through the human experience where we perceive separation and limitation, and then begin to awaken and integrate these other aspects of us and remember our connectedness and oneness, our divinity. It's not about creating boundaries or needing to protect ourselves for our entire life, because that just highlights and reinforces separation. You are powerful. Your light and love is so powerful. So it's all about integration of all parts of you, such as the rejected or denied parts, and the higher aspects of you. And as you do that, you recognize your wholeness, your divinity, and the divine spark within all beings. So naturally, from that process, you are anchoring in more light, more of your divinity. Your human awareness is integrating more with your true self, your divine self, your higher self, whatever you wish to call it. It's not separate. Just because we are here on earth as a human does not mean that we are separate from our divinity. When we can access different states or levels of consciousness and dimensions, we are still here. We can fluctuate between these different states all the time. It's not like we have to reach one level and all of a sudden we have left behind the other ones. We can fluctuate, but more and more we are anchoring, we are residing in a higher state of consciousness over time. So to conclude, higher means, in spirituality, expanded, going from our fixed, limited view of something and instead opening up to more. Be more inclusive, it could say, and more loving. Opening up to perspectives, wisdom, and states of consciousness, the different aspects of our higher self may have, that angels or star beings may have, and different ways of looking at things, which is ultimately more loving at the root of it, rather than being in our fixed view of our human conditioning or our past that cannot see the bigger picture here. So I hope you enjoyed this little talk about levels of consciousness.